Now on Sunrise, some local mothers who've lost children to drinking and driving come together to call for change. Plus, some of the sights and sounds from last night's Starlight Parade. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us as we kick off your Sunday at 6 o'clock. I'm Libby Dousa alongside Daisy Caballero.
Good morning.
So we're warming up a little bit more today.
We're warming up a little bit more. Yesterday we only hit 70 degrees, so the clouds really worked and kind of kept us a little bit cooler than we were expecting, but it's kind of a reverse today, Libby. So yesterday we started with sunshine, eventually got a little bit of cloud coverage. Now we're starting off with a little bit of cloud coverage and eventually seeing a whole lot of sunshine, which will of course help us get a little bit warmer than we were yesterday. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. So yeah, giving you a live look right now through the Rose City Sky Cam. You can of course see a little bit of that cloud coverage. So again, expect to see a little bit more of a cloud coverage for at least, I would say, the next 4 hours or so. After that, we'll see more clear blue skies. Quick look at your current temperatures here in the Rose City, 50 degrees. Also the case over in Troutdale, 46 degrees for Happy Valley, 48 over into Boring, 49 degrees as we're looking to the state capital in Salem. So for today, we are expected to hit 75, 74 for Vancouver, and 73 degrees for Longview. I'll have that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Daisy, thank you. Northeast 181st Avenue in Gresham is back open after a deadly crash involving a pedestrian. It happened just after 5:30 last night near the intersection with Northeast Pacific Court. Gresham police say the pedestrian was walking on the sidewalk when they were hit. The driver of the car stayed on scene and is cooperating with investigators. Multnomah County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a shooting near the Troutdale Airport. It happened Friday night in a wooded area of Northwest Graham Road and Swigert Way. Deputies arrived to find 2 people seriously hurt from gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital, but their condition is not known at this time. A fiery crash in Portland early Saturday. This was the scene around 3 a.m. near Northeast Lombard and Northeast 42nd Avenue. Officials say the crash involved a car and an RV and caused a fire, which then spread to a nearby hillside and power pole. The car's driver and the RV owner escaped without injury. Also Saturday, people came out to Move with MAD, or Mothers Against Drunk Driving, to end impaired driving and the tragic deaths caused by it. Celine Stevens spoke with victims' families to learn more.
Many people came out Saturday to Vancouver's inaugural Bike and Walk Like Mad event, all in an effort to create a future with no more victims due to drunk driving.
The last hug I gave my sister was in a body bag.
Justine Baker was one person out of the lineup of speakers at the Move with Mad event that took place at Frenchman's Bar Regional Park. She shared the tragic story of her sister, Danielle Abrams, who died in 2023 after being killed by a drunk driver.
She had a beautiful life and had just gotten married in November on the 13th of 2022 when fast forward to August 2023, on the 3rd, a drunk driver drove through her house and killed her while she was sitting on the couch holding her dog.
Baker says she passed away within minutes after impact due to suffocation.
She never stood a chance against the car that came through her living room. She was in the place that she felt the safest.
Stories like this, unfortunately, aren't rare.
My son AJ was 17 years old, just full of life, and was one of my biggest blessings.
Her son was killed in 2021.
He tragically lost his life to one of his friends drinking and driving. And the truck rolled into the reservoir there, and my son actually ended up drowning.
And that led her to this walk.
I came here today to walk like mad. I'm a mad mom. You don't think it's going to happen to you, and as we saw today, it could happen to you sitting in your living room.
The funds raised from events like this go back to Mothers Against Drunk Driving programs to help victims and their families.
Unfortunately, we are still seeing casualties on the roads. We are still seeing people, fatalities, people getting injured, and especially here in this area.
Earlier this week on Monday, 18-year-old Michael O'Brien died because of a wrong-way crash in Camas due to a drunk driver.
Our primary objective is to remove impaired drivers from the roadway every night, and each one of us arrests over 100 to 200 of them a year.
Even though this is the first event for MAD in Vancouver, the goal is for this walk and bike ride to become an annual event.
Almost there! We do need to lower our BAC level here in Washington, and that's something that MAD is strongly supporting and fighting to bring that down to 0.05. That needs to happen. And then also just the education, really educating our youth.
In Vancouver, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
It is one of the highlights of the Rose Festival. Last night, the streets of downtown Portland were taken over by the Starlight Parade. This event typically brings out more than 100,000 people to enjoy the sights and sounds. The parade features colorful, bright floats, marching bands, and participants from many of the different groups that make up our community. Before the parade, people were given a warm-up act with the Starlight Run. People donned costumes for the nearly 3-mile route that started and ended at City Fair at the waterfront.
There's a huge variety of people out here tonight. We're just excited to be part of it. What I love is that you get to run the parade route, so you sort of get to, prep the crowd, pump them up, get them ready. That's why you got to bring your costume.
This year's parade saw more than 100 illuminated entries, with awards going to the best floats and performers. If you were out at the parade last night, you may have noticed these barriers. The Rose Festival used a different strategy for ensuring parade safety. Instead of dump trucks blocking the roads, these barriers were installed along the route with about 100 volunteers monitoring them. Festival organizers plan to use the barriers for the rest of this year's parades.